Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ben.
And today we were talking about Spider-Man the Other. This was a story arc that I actually have in floppies. I picked this up in 2005 when it started, and then ended in 2006. It started in, like, December.
Now, is Nicole
2005.
Kidman in this book?
Nicole Kidman? Oh, The Other. You're thinking of The Others, the film.
Yes.
Like the atmospheric thriller. No, that's a movie. Nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Doesn't tie into Spider-Man?
Doesn't.
Spider-Man wasn't in that movie?
No, that's...
I thought he was.
Yeah, that's weird that you would think that. In any case, this was building off of Straczynski's epic run. J. Michael Straczynski was writing Spider-Man at the time. He jumped on like 2001. And he was tasked with making Spider-Man youthful and interesting and good because he was mired in...
Was he not good?
Well, the character was mired in, bullshit, bad writing and bad story and just, negative criticism ever since the Clone Saga. The 90s Clone Saga and
right.
the writers who were working on it. Some of them really, tried their best. Poor DeMatteis was working on it, and he's just I don't know, this? And they're like... No one can help it. It was mostly, I blame Howard Mackey, but there's a lot of other people culpable for the Clone Saga. So they hired J. Michael Straczynski, creator of Babylon 5, to solve their problems. Straczynski is I'm gonna fix this. So he makes Spider-Man an adult, and he brings Mary Jane in. He doesn't unmarry them, he brings them back together. And he writes a story about them, needing each other and completing each other's lives. And it, actually is, for me, I think I was starting to read it when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I was wow, this is really fucking good. And it was Spider-Man is always a step above me. He was always a little bit older than me, and so it was always
someone to look up to.
Yeah, and it was this dude's really pulling it together. I've been reading this shit for 20 years, and now he's finally getting his life back together. So Straczynski's let me do this story, and back when he was doing the story, he made Peter Parker a science teacher and did all this different stuff. He invented a character named Morlun, and Morlun is this dumb vampire character that's now in Spider-Verse, and apparently he's got a whole fucking family of stupid dumb vampire characters. But
wait, are they real?
They're not like vampires. They just dress like vampires, and they eat your energy. So they're energy vampires, which is a real thing.
It's not a real thing
in silly pop culture, but
psychic vampire.
Can I also, real quick, I just want to make a comment on the fact that you said that he brought Mary Jane and Peter Parker back together.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that pitch session?
Oh, yeah.
They brought him in.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I know that you really, really can't wait to kill off Mary Jane or get them divorced or whatever, unmake the marriage. Here's counter proposal.
Hear me out.
They get back together, and he actually reinforces the notion that he can't even be Spider-Man without her.
And then she dies at the end?
Yeah.
No.
Well, then she leaves.
Well, they'll both die, when they're old.
Well, how are we going to separate them?
We won't. We're just going to keep them together forever. That's what marriage is.
I think you might be missing the mark on this.
All right, well, look, here's the thing. If you don't want creator of Babylon 5, J. Michael Straczynski, writing your Spider-Man comic, that's fine. But you can get whoever you want.
No, that's not... Put all the cards on the table.
That's what I thought, because I don't want... Need I remind you, I created Babylon 5.
I mean, and we are so grateful for that.
I know.
One of the best modern times stories ever.
That's right. I contributed to the sci-fi zeitgeist.
I mean, what could possibly be better than
Babylon 5?
This is where the list of shows that we think are better than Babylon 5 comes up.
Yep.
It's going to take us a few minutes, guys. You might want to get a snack.
Yeah. He creates this Morlun character, and the idea here... And he also invents this idea that, maybe Spider-Man got his powers not from science, but from, mysticism. Maybe, there's a spider god. There are all these different gods in the Marvel Universe, and there's always different,
This is where that came from?
Yeah. Well, it came from earlier, and then this reinforces that. But the idea in that story, which I really like and we'll get into one day, I'll give you a really quick thing about it, is just that it leaves the door open. Was the spider that bit Peter Parker irradiated with power and then gave him powers? Or did it already have powers that were given to it by the spider god, and it just happened to get zapped by radiation on the way? And so it's it's more the question of which came first, the chicken or the egg, or what?
No, that's not a question of which came first. It's does it even change it any?
Well, yeah, And Peter Parker chooses. There's other character named Ezekiel who's like got his powers, exact same powers as Peter Parker, but he got them from the Spider God. And so like, there's a question of like, well, is Ezekiel the pure spider totem, or is Peter Parker and like Peter Parker chooses to believe that like it's science, and he's like, no, this mysticism thing is bullshit. Like, I got my powers from a radioactive spider. I know that sounds stupid, but you know what sounds even dumber than that?
As a spider god.
A spider god. And the reader, either you're like, that's cool, I'm on board, or you're like, that's dumb, and I agree with Peter. And like, that's enough. And you're like, okay, that's a cool story. Then he brings in Morlun again for a story called The Other, and where he says, no, it's like Terminator, where like in Terminator 2, like Kyle Reese's point of like, there's no fate but what we make for ourselves, like the future is not set, and you're like, cool, and then Terminator 3 comes up and it's like never mind, set. No, there is fate, you're totally wrong. That's The Other. The Other is the Terminator 3 of the Spider-Man story.
So it's really just wiping its ass with the power and the greatness.
Well, no, I mean like,
Spider-Man already had.
Spider-Man has this...
That's what Terminator 3 did.
Well, it didn't do it like that. Ezekiel eventually dies, and so he's, there's only one Spider-Man.
So Spider-Verse. This is not the story with Ezekiel.
Ezekiel's not in it, no.
Oh, okay.
Ezekiel is already.
I read the one with Ezekiel.
You did, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting.
In The Other, we have the story where, by the way, it's a sprawling. It's like goddamn fucking Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage was a Spider-Man story that went 14 parts through all the Spider-Man titles. This is 12 parts through all the Spider-Man titles, starting with the first ever newly published Spider-Man title, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which we were all so excited about.
Okay.
Like, great title, because he's always called the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what he is.
It's like, finally we've got a Spider-Man title called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
This is the first, issue of that thing.
First issue of The Other is also the first...
Here it is!
Yeah, here's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, part one of a 12-part epic that will be part of all other stories. Like all other titles. Written by Peter David, who wrote The Incredible Hulk for a while. Yeah, Straczynski wrote the idea. And he wrote the story. And then he gave it to all the writers who were working on these titles, and they all wrote their chapter in the other story arc. So Peter David gets to tell chapter 1 in J. Michael Straczynski's The Other.
This is becoming convoluted.
Yes. So in this, Peter David wanted to tell a story about this, like, new bad guy for Spider-Man called Tracer. And no, he's not an inker. He seemingly is a douche with a goatee who has control. Yeah, who has control over a show on YouTube.
That's not what I was doing.
Well, in any case,
looking at you because it was funny.
There's this bad guy named Tracer who's this douche with a goatee, and he has control over like machines or some shit. And who cares? He's so crappy. But like Peter David, writer of the Hulk. A bunch of other stories.
Okay.
He's kicking things off, and it's drawn by Mike Wieringo, and I might be pronouncing his name. I don't think it's pronounced wrong because his brother told me that it's it's Wieringo. Unfortunately, Mr. Wieringo has passed on. He's passed like 10 years, so he didn't get a chance to like really do a good Spider-Man story.
Aww.
But he did kind of try, and his art is throughout the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least with an artist, even if the book isn't the strongest book, if the art's good, that it doesn't. Yeah, and for the artist, it's still they did everything they could.
And Wieringo was a perfect choice for a title like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. It's supposed to be fun and whimsical and silly, which of course is why it's chapter 1 of the story where Peter Parker fucking dies.
What?
That's The Other. The Other is Peter Parker dies. In fact...
So wait, his solution is the complete opposite of what their initial solution was to the Mary Jane.
Don't kill Mary Jane, kill Spider-Man.
Look, but then we...
Well, no, no, don't worry, they're still married at the end of the story. Yeah.
Well, I mean...
What?
It's a mess.
He's dead and they're still married?
Yeah, well, after...
Look, if she dies, he gets freedom. But if he dies, she still has to
stay married. Stay there.
No.
She can't get over him.
No, actually, well, eventually she does say, I realize that I could live on without you. Because he does come back, obviously. But, alright, so, in The Other, what matters is, here's what The Other is. The Other is this dumb crossover where, Spider-Man goes to the doctor, and the doctor checks his blood, and they find this anomaly. And basically they find, a degenerative disorder. It's basically like them finding AIDS. Like, some kind of thing in your blood that says, you're gonna fucking die. They don't explain what it is. They don't explain how, like, it's whatever.
Is it spider cancer?
They don't even say that. Like, they don't even say it's cancer. It's not even that. No, they're just like...
Is it venom?
No! Unfortunately, venom isn't even in this.
No, I just meant, like, actual spider venom.
It's not spider venom.
Just like, look, you're a spider person, and there's venom in you.
Yeah, no.
Is it sensationalism?
No, well, it feels sensational.
Is it the lack of popularity? Is that what's...
No, he's really popular at this point. Anyway, whatever the case, his blood is poisoned and he's gonna die. And...
Is it lead poisoning?
Oh my god. So, he is gonna die, and he, at this point in Spider-Man's story, his ongoing story, he and Mary Jane and Aunt May are living in Stark Tower, Avengers Tower, because Spider-Man is a new Avenger.
Okay.
And so Mary Jane and Aunt May are living with the Avengers in Avengers Tower, and they all know, of course, who he is, and they're like interacting with them. And it was supposed to be a really fun, cool, like, new fish out of water kind of story.
Okay.
Like, Mary Jane and Aunt May are like actually active participants in Spider-Man's life and in his like world, and like Captain America and Aunt May are like talking about the old days. Like, that was an idea that like instead Jarvis the butler and Aunt May actually wound up like going out. Like, that's the only thing that really like comes out of that. Unfortunately,
Aunt May.
Unfortunately, Jarvis is a fucking Skrull, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, is he nice?
She still had a nice time,
He's very
right?
nice,
Yeah.
yes.
Did he bring her flowers?
Of course he did.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Skrull or not, it's a good man.
Yeah. I don't know if it's actually a Skrull yet, but, like, eventually they retconned that he was a Skrull. I don't know when they replaced him, so... He seems really genuine in this story. And I know for a fact they didn't know he was a Skrull before,
when they were
like, at this
writing
point. Yeah.
Okay.
So, he's dying of blood poisoning or some shit.
So I'm guessing Peter Parker never gave blood, right?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, for the Red Cross?
Impossible.
No.
What kind of hero is he?
No, he knows that, like, he also, like, because he was bitten by a radioactive spider, he doesn't know, like, what's wrong with his blood. And, like, he actually does wind up using his blood in a blood transfusion for Aunt May. But his blood actually winds up, like, hurting her. And she needs a special, like, antidote to, like, fix it. Like, he thought that, like, by giving her blood, like, it would help. But, in fact, like, his irradiated blood actually winds up making her even sicker.
Wait, does that mean he's constantly irradiated?
Well, in the Dark Knight Returns version of Spider-Man, called Spider-Man Reign, as it turns out, at least his semen is irradiated. So he actually winds up giving Mary Jane cancer from having sex with her so many times, so she dies of radiation poisoning from his, radioactive spider semen. And so
Peter Parker is not really the best of scientists.
No.
Do you have a brain, Squeegee?
We will do Spider-Man Reign one day, but not now.
Jesus.
While he's also getting these while he's dying, he's also getting these weirdo visions. In the first story, it's dumb, but like he's getting these visions.
It's not dumb. It's got Craven in a tutu. That's all.
He thinks he's starting to see Morlun everywhere. And Morlun's like, in this, because Straczynski doesn't really care about continuity, he's kind of like, this is the only villain who's ever really defeated me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, you've been defeated a bunch of times, and you had much harder fights, but whatever. So, he's seeing Morlun everywhere, and in fact, like, we, the reader, know that Morlun has come back from the dead. Never mind how, never mind any of that bullshit, because Morlun effing died in the first story he appeared in. But now
really?
But now he's back. And we don't explain how he's back or why. All we know is he's back and he wants to feed on Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, you never explained to me how Spider-Man lived in a coffin for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, he because he has a healing factor, Ben. Anyway, so he's dogged by Morlun throughout this story, and
so when does Blade show up?
Blade never shows the hell up because Morlun's not technically a vampire. But we got two stories going on where Spider-Man's like, I'm dying, like my blood is killing me, and so he's just trying to find cure. So he like even goes to like Wakanda, and like the Black Panther is like, let me find some like cure for you. Nothing. Mr. Fantastic can't cure him.
How does Wakanda have...
Wakanda has advanced technology, and like they have like their world is kind of like a blend of magic and science. So, like, they have like really like great healing herbs and different like methodologies.
I thought they advanced technology because of vibranium.
No, it's just they happen to also have vibranium. No, Wakanda's more like a Nubian concept.
Wakanda sounds fucking awesome, then.
Yeah, it is really cool.
She's like, we got vibranium in a future place. And
yeah, and they got hover cars and shit.
The change in art is really...
It's really jarring because, like, okay, we got the story, the books that we have are Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man,
that guy's face.
Marvel Knight Spider-Man. This is one of the worst Spider-Man artists I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I'm like, what a jarring, sudden shift. I didn't like Marvel Knight Spider-Man after the first story arc, like the big epic thing where, like, Venom becomes, like, where Matt Gargan becomes Venom and shit. But, like, this art is unforgivably bad.
Although Deodato is fun.
Deodato's doing Amazing Spider-Man, so it looks awesome.
Like, we're like,
hey, I'm stupid. So, Spider-Man's traipsing all across the world, all over the Marvel Universe, trying to, like, get cured. Meanwhile, Morlun's, like, just going places where he is and going, like, I'm going to get you. And you're like...
He has nothing better to do than just kind of follow and be like, it's going to be
literally
fun.
it.
Is he, like, an overly attached girlfriend?
I mean, more or less, yeah.
My other question is, how does Spider-Man not know he's there with his spider sense?
I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, the poison is making him, like, you know, black out and stuff. He is kind of on, death's door. So... Spider-Man eventually does fight Morlun. And the fight is epic.
Is it really?
Yeah. Morlun basically just shows up one day and says, enough. He shows up in part 6 of 12.
So halfway through?
Halfway through, Morlun's like, okay, that's enough padding.
I'm going to be here. You know I'm fight. Here. Everyone else knows I'm here.
Yep.
I'm just going to...
Let's do this.
I saw you at the store the other day.
This is creepy!
Yeah.
This is creepy. Morlun's, like, hanging out with Mary Jane, but not really. Like, he helps her get a cab.
Mm-hmm.
It's creepy.
Yeah, he's a creep.
He's like, hey.
So, Spider-Man and Morlun fight, which doesn't work, and here's why. Spider-Man's an Avenger. He lives in Avengers Tower.
Yeah, right?
He has, like, 1 million fucking superheroes on speed dial. None of them show up. He and Morlun have an epic fight that tears through, like, 3 or 4 different buildings all across, like, a street and shit. Nobody gets the call. Nobody goes like, oh. Nobody. Because if they do, then number one, another character has to fight Morlun, and no writer probably wants their characters interacting with this dumb fucking stupid character. And number two,
they'd be able to dispatch him easily.
They'd probably beat him.
Like Thor's here. Oh, look, Morlun's a big fucking hammer.
Thor's not back yet.
Maybe
back.
He would
go on vacation.
He died.
Oh.
Maybe Aunt May made cookies.
Or wheat cakes.
Yeah. And they're all like...
She made Johnny cakes.
Yeah. She does do that occasionally.
They're like, oh man, let's not look out the window for the next hour and a half, and let's just enjoy these Johnny cakes that Aunt May made us.
Yeah. So, Spider-Man fights Morlun, and it's dumb, because, like, the fight is epic and hardcore. And then, Morlun eats his eyeball.
What?
Like, in the fight, Morlun pulls out his eye and then eats it. And then beats him to death. Or rather, he seemingly beats him to death. And that's it. Like, he doesn't, like he just beats him.
He just eats his eye and then beats the crap out of him, and then that's it?
Well, was he trying to take his power?
No, he just was fucking with him. Like, Spider-Man thinks he's winning, he's, like, giving it his all, and then Morlun's like, nope, blunk.
Look, I will say this much. That is a great move to fuck with someone and be like, oh, you think you're winning?
Yeah.
Eyeball.
The old rip out the eyeball and then eat it trick.
I mean, look at Kill Bill, too.
It's true.
But Deodato's art really is awesome.
Yeah.
But, like, what?
I know.
And then he just...
So...
beats the crap out of him and leaves him.
Yeah. And then the paramedics show up and they take his mask off and he's beaten so badly they don't recognize him. They're like, well at least we don't know who he is.
I mean,
and by the way...
who the fuck is Peter Parker, so why would they know that anyway?
Well, yeah. But, of course, the scene in which we dispatch Morlun, we see Spider-Man so bloodied and beaten that he's, like, unrecognizable, is in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Drawn by Mike Wieringo. So, like...
This is weird. Wait, how many books does Straczynski actually write?
He only writes Amazing Spider-Man.
No, because this is Marvel Knights.
Oh, he probably jumped in. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then this is Amazing Spider-Man as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and then okay.
Yeah, he probably... Because Peter David helped do some of the writing chores on Marvel Knights Spider-Man.
Okay.
So he probably was just like, okay, that's enough.
Well, I need to tell the next two stories.
Straczynski's probably like, I need to get my scripting in there. Like, that's really important that I get my story. So, Spider-Man is beaten near death. He goes to the hospital. Mary Jane goes there. She is with him. The Avengers, so far, by the way, still don't they hear that it happened, but they're on their way or something.
You know what's creepy about that?
What?
You actually see his right eye is all puffy.
Yeah.
And his left eye is just sunken because it's gone. And
Right.
It's all wrinkly.
Yeah,
This one's rated A.
Yeah, all ages.
Yeah, everyone can read that.
Who doesn't want to see?
But the one where his eye is plucked out, no, that's teen.
That's a little much,
teen.
but
That's teen.
you can see the
Watching the aftermath?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's setting. That's science. It's medical.
Yeah.
Kids need to learn this.
So Morlun shows up at the hospital to finish the job, and
Wait, why?
Oh,
He's
hey,
got
the
it.
Avengers showed up.
only 3 of the Avengers show up. But Morlun shows up to finish the job because he's gonna beat, and then the paramedics show up. Then basically after Morlun beats him near death, the whole world wakes up from its time coma and goes "Hey, there's something crazy going on over there." And he's like, "Oh, there's a lot of people." Blah, and he leaves.
He couldn't have killed him right in that moment. Be like, well, I guess I need to end this now. Snap.
Well, because he doesn't just Morlun can't just kill him. He's got to absorb his energy or eat him or something.
He already ate part of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just an eye. That's not his soul.
Oh my god.
The eyes, the windows of the soul.
Oh, that's true. So maybe he needed to make room so he could suck all the soul out of his head.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. That's a great Spider-Man story, isn't it? Getting souls sucked out of your face. Anyway, in the hospital
that's
room...
classic Spider-Man. I mean, that's what Spider-Man always needed to be.
That's true. It's all about, Archie Comics love triangles and soul sucking. So Morlun goes to Spider-Man's hospital room and he's gonna eat him, and he's using and then Mary Jane distracts him long enough for for Morlun to almost kill her. And right when Morlun's going to kill Mary Jane, the other, the spider totem within him, wakes him up, and he turns into a half-man spider. And the half-man spider, Peter Parker, looks has a humanoid body shape, but he has a spider face. And then he stabs Morlun with these new bony protrusion stingers that shoot out of his wrists. He stabs Morlun with them.
So when did spiders ever have stings?
Well, they don't. And in fact, later when he comes back, he has stingers as a new power, and every time he uses them says, "I don't know why I have stingers, because spiders don't have stingers." Every time he uses them, he says out loud, "This doesn't make any sense."
Maybe some sort of bee spider hybrid.
Yeah. Except, why would stingers come out of their forearms?
I am insectoid!
I'm taking over. Fuck you, Ant-Man. Fuck you, Yellow Jacket. I'm all of them now.
Well, yeah, I know it's only 6 legs.
Spiders aren't
8
They're
legs.
arachnids, yeah.
He just snaps his
He snaps Mary Jane's arm.
here.
Yeah,
Who does that?
he does.
Well, I mean, it's
a
like
jerk.
a pencil. It's he's got her just
So, Peter Parker...
or if it's the fly, then
Holy
yeah.
crap.
then Jeff Goldblum snaps some guy's forearm.
oh my god, that was awesome.
That was
looking.
sick.
Yeah.
I watched that happen. I was like, oh!
Oh, yeah, no, that whole movie's full of whoa! So Spider-Man grows his stingers, he stabs Morlun, and then he eats, his face or his throat or whatever. And
Well,
then,
he should have eaten his eye, and then he could have said an eye for an eye.
right.
That would have
He
been
doesn't.
hilarious.
He bites him.
Wait,
and then,
does
So-
Peter Parker magically have 2 eyes now?
No,
No, I think that's Morlun.
that's Morlun's eyes.
Oh.
Because he's got him. He's
He's got him at his mercy. So, then
got him right where he wants him.
Yeah, so he bites Morlun, and
Wink,
then
wink.
Morlun melts into nothing, and he dies again. And you're like, fuck. And then he, reverts back into, broken body Peter Parker, and he says, goodbye to Mary Jane and dies. And the last page is a double-page splash of Iron Man carrying his dead fucking body across the city. And you're like, what the hell? What the hell's happening in my Spider-Man book? So then,
What issue number is that?
that's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 3?
No, this is 7.
Oh, no.
No, but it's part 7.
Part 7 of 12.
But this is the 3rd issue ever of Friendly
Good old Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man dies. Issue 3.
And it's a
You're
John. And it's
welcome.
a John Woo movie.
Because there's doves. So...
Doves would be flying that close to Iron Man.
they get stuck
You
in
don't
his-
know.
they get stuck
Maybe
in
he's
his
got
rotors.
maybe he's got some sort of bird seed compartment.
He just hits it.
And-
Hang on, I need this to be really dramatic. Boop. Birds!
Birds.
No, if that were Iron Man, he would have a compartment for birds.
Yep.
Like,
birds
no,
would just come out of it.
I need this to look dramatic.
Really
All right,
dramatic.
release the birds.
And then release the American flag. So
The doves have been in here for a week, sir. They haven't eaten anything. They're dead. Jarvis, we gotta talk about this.
So then there's a grieving issue where they took Peter Parker's body to Avengers Mansion, like into like one of the labs.
So the hospital didn't know it was Peter Parker.
No, they knew it was Spider-Man.
Okay.
So Cap and Iron Man and Luke Cage like take Peter Parker's body, and like this issue is hideous because it's literally just Mary Jane talking about like what she's going to do after he's gone, and she like breaks the news to Aunt May, and like they're talking to like Tony Stark about like what they're going to do with his estate and like how she's going to move on, like like how we're going to settle his affairs, and how we're going to like skew it to the news, and how we're going to disappear Peter Parker. Like it's just a mess.
Yeah, because I mean, like these are actual good questions. Like Stark,
Right, but like who the fuck cares? He's going to come back. We're not going to cancel Spider-Man.
Well, we don't know that. Just because they started a new title called Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, in issue 3 they killed him, you think...
And it's only part, like, 8 of 12.
Well, you assume it's going to be someone else. They're like, alright, they're going to make someone else Spider-Man. They introduced the fact that it's a spider god.
And there's another...
You know what? It's really weird that they would go into this much detail when they couldn't even outwardly explain what was killing him in his blood.
Yeah, they couldn't even explain that, and now they're going to explain like how Mary Jane is going to move on.
Why is Mary Jane fiddling around with a fucking paperclip?
Because she's just like idly, she's just like, I don't know, I can't process what's going on, so she's just playing with a paperclip. Spider-Man's body over in the morgue in Avengers Tower or whatever, it sets off an alarm, and they're like, "What's going on?" They go there, and like his body is like split open, and like there's nothing inside except for spiders.
What?
And the spiders are gone, and like the spiders leave.
His body is filled with spiders?
Yeah.
This is a nightmare!
Yeah, this is a nightmare
That's
book.
horrible!
I don't see it filled with...
What book is this rated? Is this rated A again?
Yeah.
This is T.
Oh, T.
Okay,
T
T.
plus.
That's
his body.
That's his husk.
Yeah.
Husk.
That is
so
bizarre.
So like...
Well, now someone could put it on and like be like, what
I'm Spider-Man.
Don't worry, MJ, I'm back.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that's when someone who's like had the hard on for Mary Jane for a long time, they're just like, no, don't worry, it's me.
There actually is a character in this dumb story that Straczynski invents to like that's like a stalker for Mary Jane. But anyway,
Oh my god.
so like the spiders make like a cocoon in under a bridge, and like Spider-Man's like new fetus is being grown in it, and while he's there, like in the fetus thing, like he is
Don't read anymore.
Yeah, stop. He's in like a dream state where he like is in like the mindscape or whatever, and like he's in this like weird like jungle, and like the other is there, like because he's either like one or the other. He's the man or the spider, and like so like there's this big spider thing in the mindscape or whatever, and it's like, hey, like you're here finally. Now you can make your choice. Are you the spider or are you the man? You got to choose, man, or you're gonna be gone forever.
What do you mean he has to choose?
You gotta choose. What?
You can't be Spider-Man?
No, you gotta choose. Spider or the man. What are you gonna choose? And like...
Wait, spider or the man, like, the man?
Well, no. You gotta be a man or a spider.
You can't...
Can't be both. No. Because evolve or die, Ben. That's the tagline of this whole fucking thing, is evolve or die. So, he chooses the spider, I guess.
Says it right behind your head, Ben.
Because the spider says, like, a whole bunch of times, like... you gotta embrace me, and bleh. And Spider-Man's like,
spider looks like.
it just looks like a giant dumb spider. And so Spider-Man embraces the spider, and the spider like stabs him, and then he like wakes up in the cocoon.
Hurt? He's got derp teeth.
Yeah. So,
that's not cool.
no, it's like, well, because Peter Parker's like, you're the spider. You're the spider that bit me, that like encouraged me to be Spider-Man. Like, you killed everyone I love. Like, because of you, like Uncle Ben's dead, Gwen Stacy's dead, Harry Osborn's dead.
Yeah, and then the spider's like, whoa, don't put that shit on me.
No, it isn't. It's like, yeah, I did. I killed them all, and I'm gonna kill more. Get over it. It's part of life.
That's not fucking cool.
No, it's not.
How is any of this the solution?
Right?
To Mary Jane
Oh,
Peter
it's
Parker
not. There's no solution.
Good night, Uncle Ben. Good night, Peter. Goodbye.
So like, so Peter absorbs the spider. The spider like bites him, and then he wakes up, and he wakes up like as a like bloody fetus that like lands out, like falls out of the cocoon, and then jumps into like the East River. And like,
But he's a man.
But he's a man. He's just Peter Parker again. But he's like, and so he shows up at Avengers Mansion, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they run a bunch of tests, and like it's really Peter Parker, but like every scar, every blemish, everything that's ever like gone wrong with him is fixed, and his blood problem's gone, but he's changed, and like the fucking
look at the convenient waves, so we don't see his spider junk. Then it's over.
No,
what?
No, it's not. So like,
how did they so quickly believe that that's Peter Parker?
Well, they're just like, it's crazy shit. So, like, they don't right away, like, they actually run a whole bunch of tests. Like, Iron Man just keeps running tests. Like, the next issue they established that, like, a few days later, they're still running tests. And, so, Spider-Man and Mary Jane leave to, like, talk. Like, they go web-swinging together.
Yeah, they go talk.
Yeah.
Sure, that's...
Well, that's what... It's funny, Jessica Drew, a.k.a. Spider-Woman, and Luke Cage actually muse about that, where they're like, we gotta go talk. And Luke Cage's like, sure, you gotta talk. Talk, right? Yeah,
it's been a while.
Talk, like fuck? What you talking about?
Let's have a quick talk.
Yeah, hey, I talked to Mary Jane after you died a couple times. So, no.
We had a nice group talk.
Yeah, me, Spider-Woman, and Captain America, we had a great talk.
Captain America would not be a part of it.
No, he would not. He would not be part of that. So, so Peter Parker and Mary Jane have a chat, like, while the web swinging, where she basically says, like, I could move on. Like, if you died, like, I guess, like, now I know. Like, now I can be okay with you being Spider-Man, because I know that if you died, like, I'd be okay.
Peter said he was going to give me a ride. Yeah, I bet he is. Luke, get your man out of the gutter.
Inspired dialogue.
Come on, Jess. Dude said he's going to give her a ride. What else could they possibly be talking about except, making...
And then Mary Jane
she yells, whoopee.
Well, they're making whoopee.
So... By the way, the spider husk, like the Peter Parker's whole body,
yeah,
it turns into spiders, and then the spiders take over the tower, and then it makes a body made out of spiders, like another person, but a girl body made up of spiders, and then like it like bothers him.
Why?
And then it goes away.
What?
And we establish like now that he's back, and now he's alive, he has those stupid fucking stingers.
When did those go away?
They go away after one more day. After they dissolve the spider marriage.
After they were like, fine, we'll just do it ourselves.
Well, Joe Quesada just goes like, alright, you know what? Fuck everything. I'm just gonna change everything. So he has spider stingers. And then the next story, or the next issue in the next chapter in the other, his Spider-Man costume got like wrecked from the Morlun fight.
Well, yeah.
So he takes his Spider-Man costume to his old like tailor friend that J. Michael Straczynski created in an earlier story.
Okay.
And so the tailor's like, this is going to take me a while. So he like gives him his like spider shirt, like just the top part to fix. So he's like going out being Spider-Man like with no shirt on because he just looks awesome. And and there's like a big building that's going to collapse, and so like he shows up to save it, and like he has organic webbing, by the way, at this point. It's a holdover from Avengers Disassembled, where like he turns into a spider, and then the spider dies, and he's reborn out of the spider, and he has he has organic web shooters. Like he turns into a giant spider a couple times in his life.
That's really dumb.
I know. So he has organic webbing already, but now he has stingers, and now that he's like back and reborn, he has his organic webbing, he has his stingers, and we find out he also has like other super keen nifty powers, like powers he's already had that Straczynski didn't know about because he didn't fucking read Spider-Man before he started writing it. So like we established like he says like at one point he's like, I can stick, like Straczynski thought that Spider-Man can only stick on his feet and hands, but in reality like he can stick anywhere. It's actually sometimes he uses it on his mask, so like you can't take the mask off because his face like sticks to it.
So he hangs from his dick everywhere. I mean, that's got to be where this is going, right?
No, it doesn't.
That's what you're trying
Believe it or not, that's not where it's going.
No?
Hang on, just real quick.
So strange.
Isn't the art fucking horrible?
Yeah, but the Pat Lee art when he's not drawing humans...
Oh, it's neat looking. Like,
yeah, like that's really cool
It's
looking.
cool, but like his Spider-Man is awful and his...
Whoa, you're bending the cover.
You're bending the spine!
Doing?
This stupid, like, spider chick, like, makes webs all over the Avengers Mansion, and like, everyone's annoyed at him. Like, everyone's like, oh, great, Spider-Man, like, thanks a lot.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I know you just died literally 6 hours ago, but like, thanks a lot. And then like...
And he was like, it's not me.
No, he's like, well, yeah. And then like, eventually, like, it just goes away. So, in this rescue story, he finds this little girl. Like, there's a couple of people missing in the building. And like, one of them's like looking like it's all dark, and he realizes
in Avengers Tower.
No. Like after Avengers Tower, gets cleaned up and shit. Oh. When he's trying to solve his blood problem, he goes to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is like, "You're fucked. Bye."
But this is number.
I thought you were saying ooh because
that's earlier.
Peter Parker.
Then he goes back to Doctor Strange and he's like, "Hey, so I came back to life. What's up with that?" And Doctor Strange is like, "It happens. Bye." When he's in the no, there's a big building that collapsed, and so he's gonna save the people in it. And while he's in there, he learns about his new powers, and he learns that he can make a whole bunch of webs and then feel the vibrations in the Amazing Spider-Man movie when he uses it to find the lizard in the sewers. He uses his webbing to feel around, find people.
Right,
that makes sense.
So that's a power.
That's vibrations.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
So that's a power. He can see in the dark, like a spider. He can also if he takes off his shirt, he can feel the wind. He can feel breeze on his arm, and it'll tell him what direction he needs to go in.
What?
And when he finds the little girl that's missing in there, he's also super strong. He's stronger than he ever was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He allowed a spider to bite him.
When he finds the little girl, he needs to use his stickiness. He needs his both hands to get out of the collapsing building.
Okay.
So he puts the little girl on his back, and she sticks to his back
without
him holding it, without
and also
webbing.
without tearing her skin off.
Yeah, well, it's like a muscle. He just tenses his sticky powers, and she sticks to it. That's what he always can do, though. Spider-Man is sticky all over his body.
Oh, so it's really just because he doesn't have his shirt on.
Well, it's his way of of illustrating that he can do it. But what Straczynski doesn't know, and what Spider-Man readers do know, is that he's always had that ability.
Right, because
there's an old Amazing Spider-Man book from the 90s where he they needed a filler issue, so they have Spider-Man explain to Mary Jane all of his powers. And she's like, I know.
Really?
And it's weird, because she's like, yeah, I remember. And he's like, no, listen. And, at one point he explains that, he's got... He can stick anywhere. And, it shows... I think Bagley drew it. It shows him, sticking to a ceiling, by his back. And he's, reading a newspaper. And she's like, wow, every part you can stick? That'll make for some interesting possibilities. And he's like, okay, ease up, Mary Jane, you horn dog. It's weird that, he was having a problem with it, but, and it's weird that she would find that sexually interesting, but,
how does that make sex interesting?
Maybe she was just making a joke.
She was kind of making a joke. She's like, you're re-explaining your powers. I've been married to you for a couple of years now, I know. But anyway, so since he doesn't remember that shit, so he can stick anywhere on his body. And then at the end, he just goes back to Mary Jane. He's like, I can't believe that crazy shit just happened. And then Iron Man was listening in the whole time. And while Mary Jane and Peter Parker are telling each other that they love each other, in private, Stark is like, okay, I'm convinced he's Peter Parker. Now I'll start working on his awesome new Iron Spider costume. End of the other.
How does that end anything and answer any questions that have?
Well, there are no questions. It's just a cool story about Spider-Man being the other.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Questions about who the other is, or what impact this has on his life, or what happened when he let the spider choose him. What would have happened if he chose the man?
There actually is a what if, and he just dies. He just stays in the cocoon.
What?
Yeah, it's dumb.
What?
Yeah.
They wrote a what if just to be like, what if he done that?
What if he done that?
Oh, he died.
Oh, he just doesn't.
He doesn't just go and have a happy life.
No, he doesn't lose his powers and they choose another other.
Well, the dumb thing is that he chose the spider, so really
he should be a spider.
He really should not be a person at all.
No, it's you have to choose, and the choice is really damning, and oh my god, just choose you're the spider or the man. Okay, I'll choose the spider. It's the same. You're just the same.
You have spikes now.
You have cool powers.
That's it.
Yep.
What if I choose the man? You die. Well, I guess I made the right choice, didn't I?
Thank God I chose to be a super dude.
Why did you even give me a choice?
Yeah.
Why didn't you be like, hey, you should let me bite you, otherwise you'll die?
Yeah.
So Straczynski just...
It shows me, anyway.
Retell his origin, kind of?
Kind of?
Yeah, a little bit.
And now Spider-Man can do all of these things.
I think they were just hey, it's a new chapter in Spider-Man's life. Look at these new powers that no one, after Straczynski leaves, will ever write about.
The spikes don't make any sense.
No, they're dumb. And in fact, after this, they do, after this, it's Civil War, so there's no time for that. And then after that, it's fucking...
Well, he also doesn't have a healing factor. Like,
no, Spider-Man has a
little bit of a healing factor, but if giant spikes come out his wrists...
Oh, right?
It's not like they're going to close up like Wolverine.
No!
Blood.
Yeah. Oh, no!
Splat! Ah! Go back in! Gush! Oh, no! Come back out!
Yeah, it's a mess. So, after the Civil War breaks out, and then, like, after that... He's on the run and he's back in black. And then after that, it's one more day, and then the powers go away. And they never address them again. Never does he use those spikes after this. Never does he use his fucking see in the dark powers or his like ability to stick anywhere powers. And after one more day, when Spider-Man makes a deal with the devil to like bring his geriatric aunt back from near death, bring his buddy Harry Osborn back to life, make his organic webbing go away, and make those stingers go away, and make his marriage get dissolved, like, they don't have to worry about those powers anymore.
Well, they just deal with the devil. It's fine.
So...
It's Straczynski's whole plan.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Down the line, you'll fuck up enough where you just rewrite the whole thing.
So when did Morlun come back?
Morlun came back after this. He comes back again, like, in a Black Panther story.
So can you just not kill him?
No.
Is he unkillable?
Well, here's the problem. In Spider-Verse...
Oh, we should put Morlun against Squirrel Girl. Because he's unkillable and she's unbeatable.
As it turns out, in Spider-Verse, spoilers for Spider-Verse, Morlun's part of, like, a dumb family of, like, Morluns. And they, like, can dimension hop. And in one of the dimensions, they, like, build a cloning facility. And when they die, their consciousness gets downloaded into another clone body. And that's how Morlun keeps coming back.
Like Emperor Palpatine.
Like motherfucking Emperor Palpatine in the expanded universe.
God fucking damn it.
Yep.
That is dumb.
It's
I'm
really
sorry,
dumb.
I'm not a fan of that.
No, it's really dumb.
It's...
And later on, when Spider-Verse finally wraps up, we'll do a whole Spider-Verse thing where we talk about, like, the return of Morlun and his dumbass family.
You this?
Yeah.
Is the other involved?
Yes!
In the
Well, here's the thing, okay? Spider-Man
seems like Morlun and the other are just kind of
always in battle
even if they have nothing to do with each other.
They're hand in hand.
Yeah, like shouldn't it be like the ultimate treat?
Yeah,
for Morlun,
it should be
the other.
Yeah, but like so Spider-Man had some clones. Mm-hmm. One of them was Ben Reilly, who was like fun and like Peter Parker, and the other one was Kane, who was like the first clone, and he was like dying of a genetic disorder. And then later, like in Spider Island, they create this anti-venom to like cure everybody of their spider problems.
Right.
And Kane is manipulated into becoming like a spider monster. And so when he gets knocked into a vat of the cure, and it makes all his like monsterism go away, but it keeps the spider powers. So he's like a clone of Peter Parker that has like his spider powers.
That's nice.
And when he goes off on his own to become like the Scarlet Spider in his own series, the other comes for him and says like, Peter Parker rejected me, you can be the other. And Kane's like, cool.
I thought he embraced the spider though.
Yeah, he did, but like, nah. One More Day undid that. And in fact, by the way, he has those stupid powers now, and in Spider Island, Kane has those stingers.
God, are you serious?
Oh, fuck!
But it's okay because Kane is a murderer, so it doesn't matter. So he uses those stingers to like kill people.
Is he thumping people?
No. He stuns them. They totally are asleep.
Yes.
They wake up afterwards. Just one quick fuck to the chest.
Yep, right
and
through. He fucks them right through the heart. And
and then they're stunned.
And then they're stunned, just like the tarantula in our Spider-Man Clone Genesis episode.
If you had told me that, like, if Kane had, like, if he was not a clone of Spider-Man, and he had a different power, like he was like
B-Man.
A B-Man. And then he was also somehow a mutated spider from this, and then it got rid of just that. I might buy it. Because...
Right. No, it's just he's a Spider-Man, and then he's more of a Spider-Man. So then they make the more part go away. Spider-Man the Other was a epic, sprawling, dumb, horrible, long mess. And it didn't... At the end of the day, it didn't contribute to... anything.
No, it really didn't.
But it's kind of a nifty way to make Kane different from Peter Parker more so than before. So now, like, in the Spider-Verse event, like, there's this prophecy that 3 spider beings will ultimately defeat Morlun's dumb family. And that's the Bride, the Scion, and the Other.
Who the fuck is the Bride?
The Bride is another dumb, unnecessary Spider-Man character that they created, for Original Sin, which is Silk.
Why is she the bride?
I don't know yet. Spider-Man's not done.
So the Bride
Spider Island's not done?
No, Spider-Verse.
Oh, you said Spider Island.
No, well, I meant Spider-Verse.
The Bride,
The Scion,
and
the other.
The
Scion is Peter Parker and Mary Jane's second-born child from the alternate universe MC2, where Spider-Girl is around.
Okay, I'm going to need us to stop talking about this right now.
And the other is
Kane. I can't.
No, it's a mess.
That means Peter Parker doesn't even need to be in Spider-Verse.
No, he doesn't.
Hey, wait.
That's why it's so frustrating.
Wait, I know the Morluns are in I know.
The Morluns.
The Morluns.
Yeah.
I know the Morluns are in Spider-Verse. They're going after spider-based people.
Yeah.
Does that mean in any dimension where Peter Parker's just Peter Parker?
No.
They just leave him alone?
They do just leave him alone.
Because that would be amazing to have one normal Peter Parker. He's like, what?
There's a couple of them where
what is happening?
And he's like, ah!
Hey, you're all spider people.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't go on that field trip.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, Straczynski was doing really great, and then he did this story called Sins Past, and people were like, no. And then they did the other, and they were like, all right, that's enough. And then he did One More Day, and people quit. Now Straczynski was so unhappy with how One More Day turned out, he didn't even write the last issue. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, he's got a little bit of integrity. He's a great Spider-Man writer, but he also just doesn't give a fuck about continuity. So, he'll just be like, this seems cool. He has a story in here where it's a flashback to Aunt May when she was a girl and, not married yet.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even bother to look up her maiden name. He's like, clearly they've never told that story. So I'll just make it up. So, her name's May Fitzgerald, because I like F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I'm like, dude. There's a character. His name's Ben Reilly. He was the Spider-Clone. In the Spider-Clone story, he was actually confirmed to be the real Spider-Man for a while. He's named after Uncle Ben and Aunt May's maiden name. Riley. Her maiden name is Riley. There was no editor. The editor clearly was like, yep, sounds good to me. I'm not reading this shit.
You didn't read it? Are you kidding me?
Clearly didn't read it. No, the editor didn't read, the Clone Saga, and the editor didn't read that issue. That Straczynski turned in. So, that's in this. The fucking misprint, and, the internet was around, because it was 2006, and people were like, the fuck is that? And they're like, don't worry, we'll solve it in the trade. So in the trade, they changed it to Riley, but, fuck you! If some asshole on Twitter didn't go hey! They wouldn't have changed it.
Nope.
That's amazing.
Straczynski didn't even know. There's a story later where, Eddie Brock, goes to the hospital, and, he doesn't know that Eddie is short for Edward. So it's Edwin. Because he's like, well, he's always been called Eddie. They have to, I'll just make up a thing. I'm like, what are you doing? Just do a Google search.
On Eddie.
On Eddie. On the fucking character, Eddie Brock. It would say Edward Brock, right there. So clear, the dude told, some great fucking stories. And in the beginning, when, Spider-Man was a goddamn mess, when it was, a rat's nest of garbage, you were oh, thank God Straczynski's here, who doesn't care about all that shit, and just wants to tell fun stories about this, 30-something who's trying to solve his life. But, then he got, way into it, and, just I'm gonna start setting up dominoes.
That's exactly what it is. He didn't care about that shit, people's names.
Nope, people's names,
science,
or what happened beforehand, or science, or...
I feel if he was just Michael Jameson.
Yeah, good old...
JJ is Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, Jonah Jameson. No, it's J.
Michael Jonah Jameson. It's J. Jonah Jameson.
It starts with a J.
Whatever.
At the very least, he didn't do, he was like, alright, how am I going to get rid of the marriage? I know. He'll go into that cocoon, right? And everyone thinks he's dead, and then time will pass, and she'll have moved on.
Right.
And I'll just change the whole Marvel Universe, because it'll be set years in the future.
Yeah.
I'll just have to go with it.
Yep.
Because I created
Babylon 5, and I say... that's how it happened. It's a mess.
This is insane.
So weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And there's a million more just like it. So, there you go. Spider-Man the Other, for you guys who are looking for any, context for Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah. This is kind of timely.
A little bit. Even though it's 9 years old.
Yeah, but it's it explains... if there is this prophecy that explains that...
Yeah, where the Other originated from. Although I'm sure they've retconned it a little bit more.
This giant spider person that bit Peter Parker in the chest.
Yeah. Didn't even bite him. It, stabbed him with his legs and then bit him. So, yeah, there you go. Spider-Man the Other. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hey, don't forget to click the annotation here to see every episode of Back Issues we've ever done. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this episode. It really helps out the show. And we'll see you guys next time in another episode of Back Issues. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ben.
Bye, guys.
I've been meaning to do this for a while. I had to reread it because I was looking through it. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. What the fuck is that?
I don't know anything that's happening right now.